right. All right. Hey, everybody. It's Colette Baron-Reid and my special guest, Debbie Frank. We are here for the monthly Astro Oracle report for June. Most of you know we tend to look for how we can manage things on a more positive note without denying the fact that there is shit happening in the world. So we're really looking at how each sign can maximize what's good for the sign throughout the month. So so without further ado, Debbie goes first, and then I pull the cards for each sign. She's going to go through everybody's sign, what we can expect for the month, and what's going on. Do you want to do a quick overview first, Debbie? Or
yeah, sure. I mean, I think June is interesting. I mean, the last couple of months, we've had some major planetary shifts. We've now got Saturn and Neptune having arrived into Aries. This is the first whole month that we've got them here. So, I think we need to cut ourselves some slack and think, we're just getting used to this, feeling the land. But this month, Jupiter is coming into your sign, Colette, and that's all we care about. Hooray!
Hooray!
We care about it for all of us.
Bless us all.
Jupiter has been in Gemini for a year, and on June the 9th, moving into Cancer for a year until the end of June 2026. So, in terms of the collective for all of us, this kind of ups that feeling of being able to tap into our blessings on a personal level, like we feel happier in ourselves, because Cancer is about how we feel. So I love that. It's about emotional connection, nurturing. So I think from that perspective, it could be a very nice summer. I'm also always very happy to see the full moon in Sagittarius, because that's the fun sign. So there we are. Get out your spangly dresses. Full moon in Sagittarius on the 11th of June, even though it is midweek. Nothing wrong with that. So Mars moves into Virgo on the 17th. It's been in Leo on and off since November, December last year. And I think we need this change. So Mars moving into Virgo helps us to keep our feet on the ground. It just helps things to move along. I'm sorry, I've got a wasp that's sort of flying around.
Interesting.
So I don't want to kill him. I'm a bit Buddhist like that. So anyway, just
it won't hurt you. Won't hurt you.
So new moon conjunct Jupiter. I personally think that this is the most auspicious new moon of the year, to have Jupiter on the new moon. So, that sort of time, 24th, 25th, is absolutely great for, planting the feel-good factor. It's not about, expecting everything to be magnificent straight away, because new moon is always about intention setting. But I do really like this new moon so close to Jupiter. It is very positive. So I think June's got a lot to recommend it. There are a couple of glitches, but, there's always something, isn't there? We'll get through that. Let's focus on the good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing is too, is that there are certain things that are in our control. I love the concept of not waiting till the hard things go away for us to find magic and meaning and beauty in our lives, right? That tough things are around us all the time now. It's kind of part of the zeitgeist every day. So how do we find that hopeful quality in us that's different than optimism, which is waiting for the outside to behave itself. And instead, we're like, okay, we get this is happening. I mean, even May last month was an incredible month. We saw a lot of, again, geopolitical turmoil, but there was at the same time a greater sense of grounding. There was, all the things, the slowing down, the being able to take stock, etc. So let's start
on that. Yes.
Yeah. Let's work with Aries.
Shall we do Aries?
Yeah.
Shall we do them? Okay, well, Aries, I think travel plans for you will be decided around the time of this full moon, because this is in your adventure zone. So you'll sort of feel like, I'd really like to go here over the summer, or you'll have a sort of more of a greater idea of, what your future looks like in a way. That sounds very astrological, but we all have to tap into what we would ideally like our future to be, and what little steps can we take towards that. The emphasis, though, as Jupiter moves into Cancer and the 4th house, which is the most personal zone of your chart, is very much about home, family, sort of switching your focus from, you know, massive full-on communication and thinking, like mind, cerebral, into heart, more like I want to feel at home in my own skin. I want to feel at home in my life. And I think that's lovely. That all starts from June the 9th, but definitely around the 24th, 25th, when the sun is so close to Jupiter, the new moon is so close to Jupiter, you should experience a little bit of heart chakra opening, which I think will be absolutely lovely. Now, as I just touched on, a little glitch, just a day to watch out for, the 15th. There's a couple of, you know, irritating maybe stuff that you hadn't anticipated, shall we say, but it's okay. We don't have to anticipate everything. You know, we have to be able to dance on a moving carpet. So just take that in your stride. And yeah, towards the end of the month, just before this 24th, 25th, the 22nd, 23rd, the sun in Cancer will square up to Saturn and Neptune in your sign for the first time. So that will be really interesting, because it'll just be you acknowledging that you've got this shift in perspective, that actually, you know, you're either starting to really take things in a more flowing way, kind of, you know, go with the flow, because Neptune does that, and stay grounded at the same time. So you're not going to be reactive. You're going to be like changing that perception. And that's going to be the flavor going forward. So it'd be really interesting to just tune into that time, 22nd, 23rd. Getting used to being both grounded and inspired. What do you think, Colette?
Love it. So I've got by the book in the protection position, which is always about not going by the rules, right? So making new ones, or at least knowing that there are potential innovative ways in which you might see things. I know you talked about traveling in the beginning for the Aries, but this is also more about kind of shaking off the shackles of what was, to really say, like, you know, because we live in societies that tell us who we're supposed to be in order for us to belong. And this is more like, you know, there's a new way to belong. And the other thing for Aries too, and I think this is more for the end of the month, but the orphaned card brings us into, because especially with, you know, when you have home, family, heart opening, it's more about not isolating. It's more about coming out of that, because Aries can be very busy, always doing things, but more about me, right? Me, I, and not as open to others. So this is really that opening and realizing that you need others. You're going to need others.
Absolutely. Very important.
Yeah. Very nice.
So Taurus, well, you've got the love bug Venus in your sign coming into Taurus from the 6th of June right the way through the end of the sign. So what's not to like about that? It's very nice. Also, it gets you the best lighting and seating, because Venus is like that. So the full moon on the 11th is in your 8th house. So this is your opportunity to get up close and personal. This is about the ways that you share your life or share money with other people. And again, it's a full moon, so we're like completion. If something's been in the air, are you going to do this or not? That can be the clincher, literally in the passionate sense or in the financial sense. And Jupiter's shift into Cancer is going to open up your mind big time. And I'm not saying that you have a closed mind, Taurus, but we do know that as a fixed sign, sometimes, you know, you've got your own way of doing things and thinking about things. So the pace of life is going to speed up with Jupiter here. There's going to be more ideas and more opportunities for you to not necessarily think outside of the box, but just start to explore that sense of adventure where something might feel really good for you. Okay. So yeah, that 15th, the Mars squared up to Uranus in your sign and Jupiter squared up to Saturn is like a turnaround. Stay calm, and anything that goes at that point isn't meant to be. So I think we have to be very philosophical and don't worry about it. It's just, you know, this is life, isn't it? The stuff of life. Things come, things have their cycle and their time, and then we need to go away from them in order to embrace something else. Mars is moving into your fellow Earth sign of Virgo on the 17th. And this is really going to give you a great opportunity. Oh, I love your pooch. To enjoy life, to get creative, you know, to literally have more joy in your life. So this should be a lovely summer that's going to open up for you.
That's great. Yeah. And so Taurus got flexible. as their main card for the month, right? And it really is about, when they're set in their ways or whatever, just to say, even the turnaround, to be flexible about that. Like you said, be philosophical, but be flexible. Don't get rigid and saying this shouldn't happen. But in fact, it's for your highest good. And the higher power card is with you too, meaning that there is, when you say rejection is God's protection, when we say that what is yours will not go past you, all of these kind of things, that spirit is in the mix, even when you think it's not. So, but I feel a much more, the entire month feels better to me. It just feels like a reprieve.
I agree.
Reprieve. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So
Gemini. Oh, sorry. Are you finished?
No, I'm done.
Gemini, of course, you have had Jupiter in your sign for a full year. And we could look on this as the last roll of the dice up until June the 9th. But I don't want you to take that as, oh my goodness, the last chance, it'll never come around. Of course, Jupiter does come around. It's always around. But where Jupiter is going to move into is your second house, which is absolutely great for building on and manifesting your ideas. Because I think when Jupiter's in your sign, we're sort of filled with this optimism of all the things we could do. And when Jupiter moves on to your next door neighbor sign, you think, yeah, I'm actually going to do this one. So you're getting down to it. And this is your opportunity to build. So the full moon on the 11th of June in Sagittarius, your opposite sign, is really, it's got this beautiful Mercury-Venus link on the same day. I absolutely love that. I see that as a meeting of hearts and minds. Isn't that great? So you're really on the same frequency as others. It's going to be great. And then we have Mars moving into Virgo on the 17th. You're going to be super busy on the home front. It doesn't mean that you close off from doing stuff out in the world, but, you need to put a lot of energy close to home over the summer into your personal and family life. And June the 24th, 25th, with that new moon so close to Jupiter, literally opportunities abound there. So, fantastic for, setting the intentions, planting those seeds, and thinking very positively also about your own skill sets, not necessarily about money per se. It's about, what do you have? What are the riches inside you? Let's have a think about that, Gemini. So
love that. So also Gemini's got it's the thinker, right? That's the thinker. So it's like being in your own element of thought, right? Gemini's are thinkers, but to actually slow down your thinking and all the things that you figured during the time that Jupiter was in your sign. It was kind of interesting. Deborah Silverman launched her big book during this time too. Like, she's a Gemini, and now it's like, okay, what did I learn? These are really interesting things that I thought about, hadn't had time to put it together. So now, the next thing is, now I've got the opportunity to launch this new thing. Right? So really good. So write lists, Gemini, write stuff down. What came up for you this past year? Because now it's time to actually take action and make some stuff amazing happen. And unfinished symphony is in the protection position, which is somehow it's kind of an interesting throw in. And it's not that it's negative, but there's a challenge, like a compulsivity challenge. Like, you don't want to be, I'm actually going to take the booklet because I think there's a line in here. I mean, I know there's a line in here because I wrote the line in here. There is self-sabotage, right? There it is. It's the idea of don't overthink things, right? So even though we have the first one, which was the thinker, right? Which is great because we want that card, but that now it's saying you have some unfinished business, but don't overthink it. When the unfinished business comes up for you, just just move forward anyway. Tie up whatever loose ends you can. Let go the ones that you can't. Don't quit before the finish line, but don't sabotage yourself either by getting back into some old patterns, and I'm going to say, people pleasing although, that's typically more of the Libra, but it can happen, right? So that where you, or you've gotten too scattered, and that kind of thing. Simplify is also the message for Gemini.
Great. Well, Cancer, you are most definitely flavor of the month. Jupiter coming to you on the 9th of June for 1 whole year, and it will touch each and every one of you. So you've got to grab hold of it with your pincers. It's very much a life enhancing energy. It's also confidence boosting. You're going to have opportunities to scale up. But, you know, we shouldn't really focus absolutely entirely on the externals, although it sometimes can mean something wonderful. Not every Cancerian, obviously, is going to win the lottery. Sorry about that. It's impossible. So it is an opportunity to find more meaning, to find yourself, to experience greater well-being and joy. But the really important thing is to kind of be able to spot the opportunities. You know, when I'm working with clients, sometimes, you know, I do get up close with their blind spots, and it can be hard sometimes to see how something could be. What is the meaning of the start of this? So have a look at this for yourself. Obviously, you know, this time around the 24th, the Sun and Jupiter so close together, the new moon in your sign, close to Jupiter, which was since ancient times called the Great Benefic, is just lovely. I absolutely adore it for you, and definitely a time to count your blessings and to, you know, kind of act as if they're just going to keep on coming, because they are. This is just the start. So the full moon, just backtracking to the 11th of June, just a time to check, because it's in Sagittarius. Are you overextended at all? Or how could you enhance your life in terms of making it all work? It's not just having more, but how would it work better for you? I think that's something to ponder around that full moon. And with Mars moving into Virgo on the 17th, this is into the cerebral mind zone of your chart. So words and action, Mars is the action planet, are going to go together, taking you right through to summer to early August. So you are literally going to be buzzing with that.
Oh, I love that. Makes all sense to me. So soulmates comes up for Cancer this month also. Soulmates is a card that represents not just lovers, but friends and connections. And, you know, obviously June is also the party month, right? So, but it is more about, you know, trusting those connections, building on those, and knowing that they're there. Right. That's the other thing. And you have blessed in protection. And what that is all about humility. So there might be some windfalls that come through that you can't take all the credit for Cancers. It's also a total surrender and realizing that no matter what, you know, you only have one part to play. Spirit is your partner in all things. And so oftentimes one thinks, oh, I did this thing. But in fact, you know, you set out the manifestation, but Spirit delivered it. There's a few moments that are going to come up. And I love that checking whether we're overextended or not. You know, when the full moon in Sagittarius comes, it can be like Cancers can be like spread too thin and like bring it down. And also with the soulmates card that come up, say, you don't have to do anything. Other people will help you. You get to ask for help. It's okay. The blessing card is there. And it just reminds you that, and also to share those blessings, really important to share them, surrender to Spirit's plan for your life.
Be generous in your spirit.
Yeah.
So Leo, well, Jupiter has been in the people angle of your chart for the past year, opening lots of doors for you over that 12-month period, right connections. But now it's moving into the very mystical 12th house. So what can I say? Except angels will be whispering in your ear, Leo. And it's your opportunity to follow divine guidance and to tune into your inner world. So turn the volume down externally. Of course, eventually, Jupiter, you're next on the list. Jupiter will be with you. But for this year, it's just like going a bit softer, going a bit quieter, just tuning into the divine. So the 15th of June, when Mars in your own sign, Leo, is squared off to Uranus, it's a little bit abrupt and jolty. And that might be that you're making something happen and everyone's like, wow, look at you. Or it could be that something comes in out of left field, but it is a bit of a choice point. I actually like it. It's very decisive energy. It's not confusing. It's like it's this or it's that. You know what's happening. And then Mars moves away from you, moves into Virgo on the 17th. And I actually think that you will like that, even though you're a fire sign. Having Mars with you for so long and also opposing Pluto, it's left you a bit hot and bothered, you have to admit, sometimes at times. So now you're getting into the groove. This is practical Virgo. You're literally not as bothered. And the second house is your practical steps to be more grounded. Towards the end of the month, Mercury moves into your sign, the planet of the mind. Lots of ideas and exchanges at the end of the month, coupled with that new moon. Love it.
Yeah, great. So, you know, when you said softer, I got time for a nap, you know, which really is that allowing yourself to not be, and I like the hot and bothered image of having, you know, having all that Mars energy in the Leo sign. It's like, oh, it was relentless, right? So it's like how Pluto can be relentless too. So the time for a nap is like, yes, be softer, allow yourself, because here and now sits with that. This, the other card is here and now. So really be present in your life. Don't be too worried about the future. Don't even look backwards. Be just really present, slow down, you know, and know that you are out of that phase. That phase is done, right? And that, and allow these downloads to come to you and the angels to whisper in your ear. And you can only do that if you're staying present in the moment.
Absolutely.
Okay,
well, Virgo, obviously Mars is coming to you. So if you felt that you're being a permanent Cinderella waiting in the attic, you're going to the ball. So Mars is literally taking off in Virgo from the 17th all the way through until early August. So Mars, as the action planet, is going to enable you to get a lot done. And I think it's also about taking ownership of Mars. It's not that, you know, you're going to drop all that service to others, because that is a big part of your psyche and of your soul purpose. But it is also about being able to do something for you and to ask yourself, Virgo, what do you want? Because you're so good at knowing what everyone else wants and making it happen for them, doing it for you. In other news, Jupiter's move into Cancer enhances all the ways that you can be a team player and part of a group, whether this is socially, whether it's work-wise. You're kind of wanting to bring people together, which I think will be great. The full moon on June the 11th is a family celebration, a milestone, a completion. I mean, there's just that feeling of ticking a box. It's like, it's great, you know, maybe school's out, maybe, you know, things are happening, that it's just a new cycle that you're going to be able to move into. And that gorgeous new moon conjunct Jupiter, 24th, 25th, again, a gathering, an event, a new network. It's new because it's the new moon. So there could be new people here, new introductions, new alliances, new friends. So your time to reach out, or maybe just be ready for other people to reach out to you.
I love that. And it makes sense because regeneration is the card, which is about new. Whatever it is that you've kind of been looking at, you know, I want something for me. I've been serving others. This is, oh, I have this new inspiration. So Virgos are going to get a new inspiration during the time, this Cancer moment. Well, June is actually mostly Gemini, and then we move into Cancer. But it's that, it's especially towards the end of the month. But there's also the serendipity card, which is about how people come into your life that you didn't plan for, you know, opportunities that come in, you know, and listen, an opportunity could just be like somebody saying something to you that just dings in your head and you go like, yeah, that sounds good. Right? It's not necessarily always going to be exciting and big and whatever. It's more like a kind of evolution of who you're going to become. And I think that this is a great month for Virgos. Also, I think, now, did you say Mars is going into Virgo?
Yes.
Yeah. So it gives a lot more energy.
So much energy.
Yeah. I don't know how comfortable it's going to be for them over the long haul, but.
Well, I think, you know, Virgo is a busy mind, but it's going to bring it from the mind into actually happening in the world, which is good.
Really, yes. Okay, next.
Libra. Well, Jupiter's moving into that top position in your chart, the midheaven, which enhances your sense of purpose and your place in the world, putting yourself out into the world. So if you've got some ambition or you want to launch yourself on an unsuspecting world, it's going to be this year starting June the 9th. I mean, from June the 9th is this new Jupiter cycle. And it, you know, it can be like a promotion, or it can just be, you know, wanting to get out there more, you know, shining, getting some recognition. The full moon on the 11th is about getting decisions on your plans and projects. So that's good. If you've been waiting for people to make up their minds, it's going to be around that full moon time. And on the 15th, with that, you know, hustle and tussle aspect between Mars and Uranus and Jupiter and Saturn, this is where you're once again, Libra, caught in the middle, because it's like, oh, some people don't want to spend that, or they don't want to do that. And, you know, just remember, you can't please all of the people all of the time. And this too shall pass, right? As Mars moves into Virgo, that's your next door neighbor sign, of course, on the 17th, moves into kind of like a serene backwater of your chart over the summer. I mean, how lovely. So time for you to ponder, prepare, and also not be quite so available to other people. I quite like you.
So couldn't have gotten better cards. So peace is the card. And soulmates are also the card, which in this case, in order to have peace, you're not stretching yourself and people pleasing everybody, right? So you're calling in your energy, and you're only going to be available to what's a good exchange, right? Do you know what I'm saying? It's like there's no such thing as a complete, absolute, equal exchange between people, but you won't be saying yes. And that's what's going to bring you peace too. And I'm going to say that's for the whole summer. You know,
until early August, definitely.
Yeah,
and then coming to you, and then some.
No, I just think it's really great. Libras can rest a little bit in their skin. Yeah, great. Next.
The Scorpio, as Venus moves into Taurus, well, this is your 7th house of relationships. So it's going to make you more magnetic. And if there's been a sort of storminess around relationships, it's going to make things more agreeable, more harmonious. So literally, love is in the air, which is nice. Jupiter moving into your fellow water sign or sister water sign of Cancer is in this sort of adventure zone of your chart. So I love this. It's kind of expanding your horizons. You're sort of thinking about where you're going to go with this. Is this literally somewhere you want to go? Or is it that you're on a learning curve? Or is your reach in being enhanced and expanded? There's sort of more for you to discover, really. It is a voyage of discovery. So on the 11th, with the full moon in Sagittarius, your next door neighbor sign, this is about money, earning power, doing the deal. If you've got something you're buying or selling, you know, it's that. It's like, okay, we're going to do it. And the 15th of June, don't overreact, Scorpio. Keep your stingers in. As Mars in Leo squares off to Uranus, Jupiter squares off to Saturn. Just take a step back. And with Mars moving into Virgo from the 17th, this is about you linking arms, joining forces with others, and being part of something that's greater than yourself. And I think you'll really love that sort of over the summer, that sort of feeling of conviviality, shall we say. Whether it's technically work or pleasure, there's this sort of sense that, oh, I like the frequency of these people. And of course, with this new moon so close to Jupiter, 24th, 25th, you have got so much to look forward to. And, you know, it's just like the promise of what's going to open up for you, which is lovely.
Great. So exchanging gifts is the first card that I got, which is really about, and I like that you said, is it what I want? Or am I just checking it out? Right. So it's like that. It's like what I call a beta experience, right? Yeah. Where I always, the first time I run a course, I consider it my beta. I find out what is needed, how can I make it right? So it's okay that you don't have to make a full-on decision, Scorpio, right? Nobody's pushing you. You can decide about refining whatever it is that you're really super attracted to be offering. You can refine it over time. And I know that it does. It's definitely a career month, I think, for Scorpios, or at least to consider what it is that you have to offer others too. Like that can be a career. It could also be how you are engaged with other people, right? You know, like what is the meaning of your life at the moment? And it says here that don't look for anything outside of yourself for the world to give you your own credibility. It has to come from what you already know deeply inside. And I think that's going to come up for a lot of Scorpios. And you're right. I feel that I don't know what the thing is in the middle of this month, but
the Mars Uranus.
We all have to keep our cool. whatever
Yeah,
it is.
keep it cool. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, Sagittarius, of course, you've got the full moon in your sign, the one and only full moon. So the all singing, all dancing one for you to go all out. Definitely full permission for that when you've got a full moon. Jupiter's moving into the zone of your chart to do with generosity. Again, harking back to this idea of exchange. Joint resources, attracting funding if that's what you're looking for, or attracting greater togetherness. It's like you don't want to be so much going solo with everything. It's like, okay, how could we be in this together? So the 15th, yeah, obviously just rein it in a bit. Jupiter, your ruler, is at odds with Saturn. It's all about the balance. Just look for anything that's disturbing to the balance and don't go there. You'll find it all sort of rebalances by itself. On the 17th, Mars moves up to your midheaven, prime time for achievement. So whilst other signs are bunking off and lying on their sun lounges, we think you archers are going to be sort of looking at what you want to achieve and making some moves on that over the summer. And the new moon, 24th, 25th, the cosmic cash dispenser is kind of working in your favor. Even if you don't see the tangible results yet, a sense of appreciation for the support you're getting because people are there for you.
Love it. So come to the edge. It's a time to take some risks too, right? So it's a time that you're
asking twice about that, Sagittarius.
Right? Yeah. Jump in the deep end if you want, with all your clothes on, right? It's kind of like, I don't know, right? Go for it once, yeah. And the fates are the other card, which represent, of course, the things that you have no control over, but they line up for you. That's the other thing. They're like, fate doesn't mean, oh, something terrible. Fate is just that something meant to be, and you know it's meant to be. And it says you can take that leap of faith because you just know I'm going to go for it. And it's a go for it month for Sagittarius. If you feel that, if you're feeling the opposite, like, oh, this is something definitely to avoid, definitely pay attention to that. So it's your intuitive hit that's going to determine it's going to be determine your experience with this.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Capricorn. Now, this is rather lovely having Jupiter moving into Cancer. It means you're the lucky one when it comes to those people in your life. And I know that you're the kind of person that believes that you make your own luck. And that is kind of true in some ways. But I do feel that from June the 9th for a full year, a lot of blessings are going to be showered on you or coming into you via other people. So don't overlook that or cut yourself off from it. This hand of friendship or generosity is being extended to you. So do take it. Now the 15th, when Jupiter is at odds with Saturn and there's that Mars Uranus, I think for you, because you're so pragmatic, aren't you, Capricorn? I think you will just see the pros and cons, the upsides, the downsides, and, you just need to take your time. Watch everyone else running around like headless chickens. Some of them will be inevitably. But for you, you can just sort of assess it all. It's a time of assessment. And then Mars moves into Virgo just after the middle of the month, your fellow Earth sign. And I love this for you because I feel it's kind of step by step. That's Virgo. They don't rush, step by step. Let's have a plan. And it's progress up your mountain, which is just what you want to do. The new moon, oh, well, my goodness, if there's a sign we could pull out, obviously for Cancer, but for Capricorns too, that new moon, the sun conjunct Jupiter, the new moon, 24th, 25th, this could be your time to meet someone. Of course, who is this person? It could be someone that's just going to be big in your life. You're going to work with them. It can be a mentor. It can be you discover someone you like listening to on YouTube and you suddenly feel, wow, this person's on my wavelength. Of course, it can be romantic, personal. For the already attached, it can mean a new phase, a new cycle in that relationship. Jupiter is here. So it should be a very positive phase and a time for you to reach out.
You know what else is really good too? So I've got clean it up and time to go. So, you know how you were talking about assessment, right? Assessing. So the result of the assessment would be for you to say, you know what, I'm going to clean this up and then off I go. And it can also be too when you know you're ready for something different, right? You're really, and it is more of a pragmatic, you know, I am really genuinely done with this. And it's and it's not even something that's bad. It's more like I've kind of grown out of this and I am ready for something new, someone new, some new friend, some new environment. It's so the time to go also, it's just, you know, it's time. It's like, I've been assessed this and I make my decision and really be okay with that decision. It's really great for Capricorns this month.
Brilliant. So Aquarius, well, Jupiter's moving into your 6th house. So we're looking at some kind of enhancement to your lifestyle. So before you think, oh my goodness, you know, I'm going to call in the interior decorator and go mad. Yes, you could, but I mean, there's actually every day, because the 6th house is associated with Virgo, so it's more of the small things, and it's about asking yourself, how do you want to live? And you know, health improvements from little tiny tweaks, which are actually the best, aren't they? You don't have to go overboard. You can just do something micro and minor, and it makes a big difference. So on the 15th, when Mars, which of course has been opposing you, is squared up to Uranus, your ruling planet, it's going to be a little bit volatile and explosive, and somebody might be flying off the handle. But you know what, Aquarius, you've got these tools around you to just detach and, you know, keep it very much, you know, rational, logical, you know, you respond, you don't react. So it's all going to be fine. Mars moving into Virgo releases you from confrontation as Mars finally shifts out of Leo. And you've had to deal with all these hotheads, for heaven's sake, for months. You know, I take my hat off to you. So things are going to calm down around you, and you're getting down to how to make progress rather than fighting it out. And this lovely new moon, 25th, just do what makes you happy. That's what you deserve, nothing less.
Love it. Love it. You know, it's kind of interesting because, it's, I'm getting all these like sort of almost conflicting things, but so I got time for a nap in protection, which kind of, I think, speaks to that mid-month piece where you can be detached, but this is also not to overwork, right? It's like recognize when you're really spent anyway. So it's like, I don't have any energy for this. It's like, forget it. I don't want to participate. Not my circus, not my monkeys, right? And that's what's great about Aquarius, because you can actually go, no, that's not good for me, right? So that's really good. But then it talks about round and round, which is seeing the things you've already done, and really also saying, I'm not doing that again. I'm going to do something new. So there is this quality of, here's what I did, but here's another option. So there's this kind of opportunity for Aquarius. And I think it's kind of goes along with what you said too. And funny, one of the other, a third card stuck to the last one, which was here and now, which is like, remember, everything's done one day at a time.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, so Pisces. So Saturn and Neptune are both out of your sign for the summer. They're on summer recess. And you're going to feel like you've got your life back. So just, you know, kind of gently feel your way into that. How does it feel? How different does it feel? And also, what have you learned from that long process work? Of course, they will come back in the autumn or in the fall, as you say. But you're sort of just being able to dip in and out of being in something and feeling that you've moved on from it. So that's good. Jupiter, meanwhile, moving into Cancer and into the 5th house, is very much about everything that you love with all your heart, whether this is some creative self-expression, any kind of ways that you have fun with other people, anything to do with children or your inner child is very positive during this time. And Mars moving into Virgo, well, this is slightly contradictory because from the 17th until early August, Mars is kind of on your case and it's kind of across the way. We really do feel that when Mars is opposing us. Now, in some ways, don't forget that Mars is the planet of desire, and that might make you an object of desire, Pisces. So that might feel okay. Law of attraction working in that way. Or it might feel that everyone wants something from you, in which case, you know, you just got to float and avoid and escape a little bit, which you do so well. Now, the new moon with Jupiter there is for planting seeds of joy, because this is about returning to, you know, what is fertile ground for you. You know, what would you like to grow? And, you know, what does your summer look like in terms of you being able to be your most content?
Love that. So the Yang card is always about action, right? You have more energy. And I think what you said, they get their life back, Pisces. It's like, whoa, what was that? Feeling a lot more positive. I'm going to say there's like real thread of positivity there. Even though the change in the wind card talks about circumstances out of your control, I also think here it talks about you're going to feel the change that didn't have anything to do with you deciding for it. It's like, whoa, I feel so much better, right? Yeah. Oh, I can be joyful. Wait, what just happened? Like, it's this kind of new thing, right? It's just in you and you didn't do anything for it. So it's one of those cosmic moments.
Yeah, really good. No more waiting for the other shoe to drop. It's not going to.
Yeah. Debbie, thank you so much as always. And you guys, if you're interested in a reading with Debbie, it's debbiefrank.com. Easy to do. Easy. And
yes, it would be lovely. I mean, your people are so fabulous, Colette. I'm really enjoying the sessions I'm doing with all the people that follow you. Fantastic.
Yeah, I have nice people. I do. I actually have nice people. Nice.
You have great people.
We love you guys. Yay. Thanks, everybody. Thank you so much.